Hi, this is Debbie. Welcome back to Cheyenne Wyoming Urban Gardener. And we're picking at our amaryllis. Remember, I had, in the last couple of videos, mentioned something about having an amaryllis, and I didn't know whether it would be bloomed for Christmas. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be bloomed for Christmas, but it is definitely coming back out to bloom. We already had another amaryllis that I had picked up the other day from Walmart. Just a little cheap amaryllis, and it had already bloomed. It had 9 blooms on it. I wish I had gotten a video or a picture of it at that time. And it's already gone. So I have snipped it off and going to go ahead and let it kind of die back a little bit and then start watering again, and it'll come back out and bloom again. I had this one in particular bloom 4 times this year already, and this one is just a kind of a pale colored pink bloom. And this one is a red and white. So looking to get some more amaryllis and get some more color when they do bloom. But looking quite beautiful. And then I did pick up a Christmas cactus, or zygo as they call them, yesterday at Trader Joe's. And it has already bloomed a little bit, as you can see right there. But it has loads and loads and loads of blooms coming on. And we also got a piece off of it that we can propagate as a new plant. And we did have my daughter's orchid. She's been taking care of it. They are very difficult to take care of. And it has came out with 3 strands that are going to bloom. This time it has already bloomed once, and she cut that back. And now it's going to bloom again. So you can see it's a really beautiful, beautiful bloom. That's the first bloom that popped out. And then there's loads of other ones on here. But anyway, this is going to be a video about getting ready for Christmas. And just preparing some pumpkin to make into pumpkin pies. So we'll see in a moment. And real quick before we get started on the pumpkin, I just wanted to show everyone how I was growing my basil this year in the south-facing window. And it's just in a combination with a potted fuchsia plants, which part of my fuchsia plant has died off, and it just happens. Still have some active leaves on it, so this will come back out. This is the other section of that fuchsia plant, as you can see, is still healthy. Just that section, sometimes sections of them will die off, and then the other sections will come out. But anyway, there is the basil. You can see it's getting quite big at this point. I think there's 5 or 6 plants mixed in with that fuchsia. And then you can see I have another fuchsia over here. This was a cutting that I had taken off of this original fuchsia plant, and as you can see, it's still alive because it is blooming right there. So looking beautiful. Anyway, we'll get started on the pumpkin. And this is my daughter packing up some more of those banana chips that we had done a previous video on. She's just taking them off of the parchment now and putting them into a Ziploc bag, as you can see right there. And what do you do if you don't have any packed pumpkin? Because shortages in the stores have been a problem, and I have not seen any canned pumpkin. And you have an old jack-o'-lantern laying around that you didn't carve for Halloween. Well, this is what you do. This is an old jack-o'-lantern. This is actually one that I grew. We did not carve it. We saved it for pumpkin pies. And as you can see, there's plenty of flesh on this pumpkin. And we just cut it in half. It's kind of hard to cut because it is a filled pumpkin, or jack-o'-lantern, kind of both of the same thing, to be honest, or Big Mac's pumpkin. They're all kind of the same. So here we just cut it in half, and it takes a big knife to do so. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sharp one. You're just trying to get the point of the knife in and then kind of rock it back and forth until, so then you just rock the knife back and forth and it just splits it kind of on its own. So here you have it open, cut in half. I've already cleaned out 1/2 of it. So you can see here, you can leave the stringy part, it doesn't matter. You can scoop it out, it doesn't matter. And then what we will do is that we will rub a tray with some olive oil, place them face down or cut down onto the tray, and then stick it into the oven on 350 for about an hour, hour and a half, and you will see all of this flesh will just basically turn into mush. It'll still be firm on the pumpkin shell, but it'll be to the point that you can just spoon it out. So then you either can pack it, if you're not wanting to use it right away, into a container and stick it in the freezer. This is some of the pumpkin that I had left over from, actually this is 2 years ago, some pumpkin, and I've kept it in the freezer. There's no air in it. It's not freezer burn, as you can see. So here we have the frozen pumpkin. It's just in the container, and I apologize that I have to keep stopping the video because my dogs think I'm talking to somebody that is not a video, so they're constantly barking. And grandson yelling in the background the whole video. So anyway, here we have the frozen pumpkin. And I apologize, had to pause that again. Container of frozen pumpkin. This is from 2 years ago. There's no freezer burn or anything. It's still good. We're going to thaw it out, and we're actually going to use it today for some pumpkin bread. And we're also making banana bread. I've got some old bananas over here that are going to go into some banana bread or banana chips, either one. It depends on how much we have left over. I'll only take 3 bananas to make some banana bread. And we will be giving slices of that out for Christmas gifts, as well as the pumpkin bread and some of my jams that I had made through the late fall or early fall. So here we have the pumpkin. Again, going to go ahead and go in the oven, and I'll show you that process in just a moment. And make sure that you save all of the seeds that came out of those jack-o'-lanterns, because even though I have loads and loads and loads of jack-o'-lantern seeds, I'm just going to keep the seeds anyway, because this jack-o'-lantern came from one that came to our house by volunteer 6 years ago. So this is the same pumpkin that has carried over for 6 years, and we just save the seed every single time. And there we have it, just split in the half and stuck in on a tray with some olive oil is the pumpkin, and it will bake at 350 for about an hour to an hour and a half until the outer shell is starting to get brown and the inner part is completely soft. And then we will just scoop it out, put it in containers and freeze it, or go ahead and use it as we desire, which we're going to be making some pumpkin bread. So there you have it. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see notices on new videos as they come out. I know this one was a kind of a simple one, but you know when you're beginning to start cooking and you don't know these things, hopefully it'll help with someone. So anyway, we will see you in the next one.